Going on, guys? Welcome. Rabid here. What's happening? How's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? It is Saturday, time to live stream. So let's do a quick roll call. Looks like we're a little slow today. Not too many people out and about lurking around. We do have Scafer. I see you over there. What's going on, Scafer? I see Jock McMiner over in the Twitchster. What is happening? Coming in the Tubester, Amplifier Gaming, Ogre MGTOW, Grey Wolf, Chris Metaleros. We got Yusuf Putz here. Northern Crypto and Tech. What is happening? Squirrel Master, Skirm, J-Rod D, K Hashaholic, one and only Budweiser. Nice. Nailed it, I think. Sorry, I have to mute my mic for a sec, kind of clear my throat. It's a little on the froggy side. I slept in again and almost missed my stream. I got to quit doing that. I went to bed super late again. I don't know why. You know, I was going to bed nice and early days before that, and then all of a sudden last night comes and I stayed up playing Ark all night. I got to quit, you know, raising dinosaurs and stuff. I got to start recording more gaming stuff because I've been playing a lot of games and I haven't recorded any. Darn it. Anyway, Travelers Travels, what's going on? Rugrum, what's going down here? Okay, we went through all that. I think Squirrel Master, what's happening? Monkey Dude, Bleach, and Black Hat Team. Oh, we're missing Mr. Nuclear Power Plant. Where is Rud Putz? I don't know. We don't know where Rud Putz is. He might show up eventually. We'll see and wait and find out. So, how you guys doing? What's going on? Markets are rough, huh? Well, we're seeing some, you know, upswing on things, and hopefully things start looking good as altcoin season rips around the corner here. I'm hoping within the next month or two, guys, things should start looking pretty good. Now, one thing I did want to do is I wanted to put this into my new into my spreadsheet. I don't know if you saw the video on the new Ice River miner. I didn't put the numbers in for this, so I kind of want to do that now just to see how this does. But it's a gold shell miner. It sucks and it's just absolutely horrible. But lately, you know, we do have Ice River's releasing their new miner now, the same time as the AE0. Does that make any sense to you guys? I don't think the AE0 should have really released. I also want to look at what the AE0 pricing should be based on what the price of their new AE1 light miner is. So let's just look at ALEO for a second. As soon as Ice River announced this, look what ALEO's been doing. It's like the ASIC pump that we always know comes. Now imagine what this could do when Bitmain comes. Obviously, it's looking like it makes a lot more sense to possibly just buy the coin instead of these miners. Because once we know Bitmain releases, these things are going to go to, you know, they're going to become bricks, expensive bricks. So pretty soon, you know, might be able to build a house out of ASIC miners. Slap some, I guess, cement in between them all, put them on top of each other. And you can have an ASIC house. That would be an expensive house. We're trying to reduce costs of living, not increase it. Anyway, look at the pump. So past one day here, like here's like around when it was announced yesterday morning, and all day for the past 24 hours, we just seen a nice incline. The past week has actually been seeing a decent uprising in ALEO. And then obviously here is the ASIC pump that happened. Nice little peak here. So when Bitmain comes, hopefully we can see like $1 or $2 at least. Will it pass its previous $6 when it first opened? That's a really tough one here. But again, that's when it first opened. Hasn't hit an altcoin season yet. So that'd be nice. You know, imagine if Leo sees something like $10. That'd be pretty insane. I doubt it's going to do that. But hey, you know what? Crazy things happen when a full-blown altcoin season erupts, if we even get one this year. That's the other one, you know, all these tariffs and going on. You know, I feel like Trump may have destroyed crypto altogether, but we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. But overall, I want to go through the numbers here. So here are the previous ones that I do have. Let me just find it. There we go. There's the proper button. So I just gotta add this in here. So I'm gonna put it above here. So we're gonna insert a row above, and this thing is the AE1M. So AE1M. It's supposed to be about what, 235 mega hash or something? 230 mega hash. 2,000 watts. Like seriously, 2,000 freaking watts. Like what is going on here? So we got to figure out the effective kilohash, the price here. So this is going to be 23, I guess 2 more zeros on this. So 23,000, divide that by 2,000. That is 11 point. Oh my gosh. Did I do that right? I gotta look into this. I don't even know if I calculated that right. I just woke up, guys. I'm half asleep. I still got 230 mega hash and kilohash here. I think that's right. 230 mega hash. 230. Yeah, so you times by 1,000. I need another zero in there. 23,000. 1, 2, 3. Divide that by 2,000. That looks a little better. That looks a little better. But it's still not looking good. So that is 115 kilohash per 1 watt of power. So let's just bring this white because that's definitely not green. What is the price of this unit here? So looking at it, it is 3409. 3409. All right, price per mega hash. In this case, we do have 3409 divided by our 230. $14.82. The most expensive miner on the market. Okay, there we go. I got some numbers for gold shells. I don't even know what you want to call this. Absolutely horrible money. Miner thing. So it is slightly more efficient than its previous miners, not by much at all. Like, you know, zero. You're probably just saving on the efficiency of the control board or something, running so many more chips over a small control board, you know, running very few chips and so on. So that's probably all that's really going on here. For the chips, they're probably the same size and everything. But, you know, 230 mega hash at 2,000 watts, 115 kilohash per watt here at $3,409 works out to be $14.82 per mega hash that you're paying here. And look at the AE1 Lite, 300 mega hash, 300. You're getting more hash rate for only 500 watts versus 2,000 watts. And obviously we see our effective kilohash efficiency is 600 kilohash per 1 watt of power. And it's also the cheapest at $9.33 per mega hash. So that's the other thing I wanted to look at is the AE0. If they were to price it the same as the AE1 Lite, you know, $9.33 per mega hash, that should be $9.33 by 60 mega hash. It should be $559. So this should be, now that still feels like it's probably too expensive. I think if they drop this thing to maybe $350, $400, maybe this would be okay. But even that might still be too high. But we can see where the price should be based on the same price here. And then ultimately, we know Bitmain is going to release here in the next couple months. And that may cause a big surge in the ALEO price. I'm expecting, and hopefully it does. We didn't actually really see a Bitmain surge on Alephium. So that was kind of sad. But the markets were in pretty big turmoil when they released that as well. So that's kind of up in the air. But for the most part, hopefully if the markets are green, we should see a nice surge when Bitmain releases, ultimately making these things obsolete at that point and stuff like that. So, you know, that's just a quick update on ALEO there. Honestly, you know, is it going to be worth mining or not? That's really a tough call to say. You know, it's really, really rough going in that. Using the word efficient for their miner might be a little much for Gold Shell. Gold Shell and efficient never go together. They're no Gold Shell miner has ever been efficient. There might have been one. I can't remember. That surprised me, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Let's go Twitch shares. I only mine ALEO for grins and giggles. I think I have 15 ALEO. One cell. I've never mined it. Well, I turned Byte off today. I thought I turned it off a few days ago when I saw the network hash rate increase quite a bit. Let's go into it right now and just take a look at ALEO, see where the hash rate and stuff is sitting at. So if we look at this, yeah, so it's up mostly multi. Like remember, it's only like 280 gigahash or something there, like 2 weeks ago. For the past couple months, since Gold Shell was the only ASIC, it was sitting only around 180 to 280 gigahash for the past 2 to 3 months. Now we're at 603, and these miners haven't even shipped, which means they're Ice River's testing the crap out of all these before they ship, or there's even a new miner coming in that they haven't released yet. Now, why are they pushing these miners so early? Why did Ice River wait until they were going to release the AE0, and then all of a sudden, just before they ship it, they announced this miner, which doesn't make sense. Now, could tariffs have an issue with that? Were they going to hold back for another month or two and then release it? I don't know. You know, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. I have no idea. If this was their original plan to release this thing this early, then they should have just, you know, announced it with the AE0. Because in theory, based on the same efficiencies and everything, it's the exact same chips. So they're not gaining any extra hash rate for the power that they're getting. Nothing's changed internally. The same efficiency applies there. So it's the same chips in theory. So they just threw more chips into the A1 Lite, and then they're calling it good. So why didn't they just do that from day one? You know, your guess is as good as mine on that. But we can see hash rate picking up here, and things are just, you know, kind of crazy at the moment. So let's go back to the mining pool stats. What are your guys' thoughts on all this anyway? And, you know, I know the big thing is, you know, you're better off most likely just buying the coin. I was thinking about buying some ALEO, and then all of a sudden the price shot up right after the A1 Lite release. And I'm like, oh, great. Do you buy it now? Do you wait? Do you wait for another crash to happen? Now we're in the part where it's like, oh, FOMO could start hitting in because now you start buying and maybe it's coming near top. Like, we have no idea what's happening. Everything is in absolute turmoil right now. It's insane. Absolutely insane. I've been selling any ALEO that I've held. You know, some people have sold all their ALEO and they're kind of upset that, you know, it's up like 20 or 30%. You know, over the next couple of days, it could be up 100%. So it's hard to say, really hard to say. I do think if crypto market is in a nice, healthy, green time frame when Bitmain announces it, I do think ALEO is going to probably shoot up 500 to 800%. We could see, like right now, it's still under 50 cents. It's only like, what is it? What did we just see it was? Yeah, it's only at 26 cents. So, you know, going to $1, $2 or something could be huge for people, you know, getting in right now. But that's the FOMO. Is it going to happen? We don't know. We don't know what type of, you know, condition the market's going to be in when Bitmain releases and stuff. Rabid, Octa server canceled my order and sending back my money because of tariffs. Interesting. Where's Octaminer? Oh, they must be in China and stuff. That's another thing. Amazon prices are supposed to increase very, very soon here as well. There is like a flood of things being bought and sold out all over the place before prices do increase. So if you guys are looking for anything on Amazon, obviously hit an Amazon link down in the description. It doesn't matter. Just hit any link and then just search anything you want. And, you know, it does help out the channel and at no extra cost to you. But, you know, that's all happening. So again, you know, a lot of people are trying to get their orders in and everything done before full-fledged things, you know, come into order. Some things are already in place right now, but, you know, things that already have stock in certain locations, those tariffs don't apply yet. And on new shipments coming in, once all those stocks are gone, that's when the tariffs apply. So, you know, you probably hear me say, well, tariffs are on. What do you mean? You know, some things are still cheap. And that's why. It's due to stock that's already there from before when tariffs were already in. But everything being restocked because they sold out and stuff, those tariffs will apply. So, you know, gotta look around and see all that stuff. 7950X CPUs have gone way up too. Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Octaminers main manufacturing is in China. You know, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I was thinking I'm debating, you know, I might just go back to a couple small open air rigs because, like I said, you know, things have been rough lately. You know, I might just run maybe some AI rigs. I don't have the internet for like the real AI. I can only do like a lot of fake crypto AI stuff, which is, you know, is still better than straight crypto mining. But, you know, 4090s, 3090s, things like that, maybe a 3080. Like I don't have any of the big, you need all the big high memory type of GPUs. I don't have many of them. So I might just use an open air rig or something, one or two small little like, you know, Warthog type rigs for that AI stuff. And, you know, I'm debating. I got the X8 Octominer as well as an X12. So I'm debating if I should just sell that as well. And obviously, it's not going to be tariffed like you would see coming in from China because it's coming in from Canada here. So I don't know. I'm up in the air on that still. I still don't know exactly what I want to do there, but we'll see what happens. What miners should you buy before the tariffs come? That's the question. You really got to look around. You know, you got to consider, you know, how you want to go about it all and what they are. Like, I think all new miners are going to be tariffed. Now, it also depends where you get them from. Some companies, which it's not allowed to really do, they do drop values of a lot of things quite a bit. So I don't know if that affects how those tariffs and stuff work. You got to keep in mind, the lower you drop that value and something happens, then you're out all that. So, you know, someone buys something for like $8,000 and they claim it's only like, $500, and if something happens in the mail, they can't say, oh, well, that was worth $8,000, I want my insurance. Well, you only claimed $500. So how does that, there's also that side of things where, you could lose a lot if something happens in, the mail transit and things like that. And, it's a crazy world out there. We really don't know what's going on, but you have to look around, shop around. You got to do a lot more work and research into seeing what's here, what's not. Like I know custom computing. Coastal Crypto. They have a group buy thing going on, but it's for Bitmain S21 pluses, which is a very expensive Bitcoin miner, so I would not recommend that. If you're looking for a Bitcoin miner, I would go more on the Can-An side. It's like half the price for only like 40 terahash less. So the S21 Plus is going for what, 5,000-6,000 USD, where the Can-An is like 25 to 3,000 for 220 terahash versus like 260 to 270. The Can-An just makes way more sense, for the value. Yes, Bitmain is a bit more efficient, but, is it worth the extra few $1,000s? Not really, I don't think, in that type of thing. So you do have to look around. Maybe I should do a video on this very topic here, but you're going to have to try to source things locally. And like I said, the S21 Plus, Coastal Crypto, I do have a link somewhere to Coastal Crypto on my website, guys, right here. If you check it out, where is it? Oh my gosh, I lost it. Right here. So yeah, down there, ASIC miners, crypto wallets at rabidmining.com. You got all the different shops here as well as hardware wallets, guys. We still need to sell more Tangems. Come on, let's get that done. But yeah, Coastal Crypto should be, they're right here with the discount code. So check them out, talk to them as well. Say Rabid sent you, things like that. And, see what they have available in the USA that is tariff free. So you're going to have to do more work shopping around if you are looking for these type of hardware. Rabid, you do the research for us and tell. So, that's basically what my channel is all about. I try to do everything so you don't have to, makes your guys' life easier. Sometimes it takes there's a lot of stuff to look out there. I've been messing up on some of my videos lately from being sick, still coming off sick, like the VeersCoin one. I butchered that one so bad. Did you guys see that video? My VeersCoin hash rate video right here. Oh my gosh. I put everything in kilohash when it should have been in mega hash, and I was just like, wow, I should just delete this and just re-upload it, but then no one's going to watch it because they already seen it. And most people are just like, well, that makes sense. We messed up. It makes sense. It should be mega hash, not kilohash, because it would absolutely suck if it was in kilohash. A phone hash rate is like 8 to 9 mega hash, depending on what your thing is. So saying a 9950X3D is in kilohash, makes it look like it's absolutely a horrible CPU. It's, it's like a 1981 Apple IIe or something. But yeah, I messed up some stuff there. I know my brain just hasn't been working correctly lately, and it's just messed up. But I'm glad this one turned out good. The home Bitcoin node. That's the other thing we're gonna look at. Did you guys see that one yet? How to set up your home Bitcoin node for free, so you don't have to spend $2,000 on an overpriced future bit that they did the exact same thing pretty much that I showed you guys, but they're charging you $2,000 for their box. Like, the markup on here is like, that's worse than an ASIC miner. You buy your little node box there for what, $50, 100, depending USD is probably $50. In Canada here is about 80 to 100 when I got it on sale. And then, the software and everything is free. Setup process is only a few minutes here. And then you charge $2,000 for it. Craziness. So yeah, this one turned out good. And, speaking of that, here is my node, for an example. It's running right now. And you got your total peers, you got your synchronization here. I got my pool going. This is where I got the bidax. I just got this one in. I forgot I had it. And I also forgot I had this miner here when I was selling stuff earlier. So I was like, all right, I sell miners that aren't boxed up that I can try. So here's the new Lucky Miner V8. It's 4.8 terahash. And we got the bidax 601 here. Also 1 terahash, a brand new one that just came in. This has a white motherboard. This is an all white bidax. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I haven't recorded anything on that one yet, but that one's here. But yeah, we're hashing away. We can see my new best difficulty. I can hit the refresh here and see 404.94 million is my best share difficulty. Obviously, we need to find a share higher than the entire network difficulty. So 123.23 trillion is the current difficulty on the network. So if we find the share higher than this, we found a block. Obviously, we're nowhere near finding that share yet. But you never know. The next one could go through and smash that. Will it happen? Very, very low chance. But the point here is we are running our own. We're decentralizing Bitcoin at this point. The node is mine. You know, the pool, it's mine. The frickin' mempool I got going is mine. For an example, if you Google mempool, look at this. Bitcoin mempool. If you look up the Bitcoin mempool for yourself, here's the Bitcoin Explorer mempool. We come into here. Bam, look at that. Exact same thing. Here is the websites one. We'll go to the miner section and stuff. And you can see all the, you know, it's kind of around in different spots here. And then we come into mine. It's the exact same freaking thing. We're in the mining aspect, shows, you know, the blocks, when there's adjustments of the difficulty. Everything is there, except instead of relying on a remote website and everything, I got it all linked straight to my node, and I'm running my own stuff. It's awesome. It's wicked. You know, it makes you feel better, especially when you're solo mining to your own stuff. And imagine if you hit that block on your own node. That'd just be the hitting a Bitcoin block would obviously be the ultimate feeling. It'd be amazing. But doing it on your own infrastructure just makes it that much better. And then you can just, it's just awesome. It's just awesome running everything. This is 100% how you should solo mine any coin. Now, obviously, some things don't have some of these things in there. Now, if we come in here, there's other things you can do as well. Like we couldn't there's also a Monero node in here. Look at that. Monero. You can also run a Monero node in here nice and easy as well. Install, boom, sync it up, let's roll. We got a Monero node running, and then mine to that freaking thing as well. That's why I can't install this because it'll use up all my hard drive space and stuff. But you know, there's multiple things to do here. So let's just what else do we got in here? We got all sorts of stuff that we can do here. We got social, home, media. Like what all they got for finance? Here's Bitcoin. There's a Bitcoin tab all by itself. So look at all the stuff they have just for like Bitcoin and crypto stuff. There's their Lightning node if you want to run the Lightning network there for you. Ellen, there's marketplace things, some type of core Lightning, ride the Lightning here. BTC Pay servers, you know, Bitfeed, Aubrey Hub, Crystal Ball, Fulcrum, your mempool there's an Oak node, all sorts of freaking, you know, so many different things you can run on this thing at just like quick one-click button installs as well. So that's pretty sweet. That's awesome. It's a pretty wicked program there. What you using? Start 9. Sorry, late. Tony Magna, what do you mean by what am I using? Start 9. Nobody cares about colors, only hash rate. Can you do a vid on Zeph for solo and pointing rigs to, or can you use a BTC one and it's close enough? Haven't seen that vid yet. No, what do you mean? To mine Zeph with a BTC one? No. You can use, if you have a big enough hard drive and everything and enough cores in a processor, like if you were to build a server out of, you know, obviously an Epic or, you know, maybe even a 3950X or 3950X, some with a lot of cores in it, you could, and a big enough hard drive, you can run multiple different nodes. So, you know, in order to solo mine Zeph, you would have to run the Zeph node and then point your rigs and stuff to that. If you want to run a different coin, you know, you'd have to run that node, and depending what it needs, some coins need stratums, other coins don't need stratums to solo mine to. Some just need quick proxies. Every coin does kind of have a different thing depending what it's based on and stuff. But yeah, you do need to run its individual node as step 1 to mine to that. And coming down to how many nodes you can run on a PC comes down to how many cores and threads you have available and hard drive space. Rabid, are you a Metallica fan? I haven't listened to them quite some time. When I was younger, we listened to them a lot. That's when Metallica was really big and stuff. But, you know, past a little while, no, past, I don't know, 10 years plus, not really. But I would consider myself still, I like some of their songs. Rabid, whatever happened to ETCMC? I'm not really sure. I got really upset with them one day. I can't remember what it was. Like I've helped them lots in the past. I was hoping the project would do amazing. Then obviously, you know, everyone just sold like crazy, and then it went down. They have other things. They implemented other things going in. And then one day, I can't remember, I did a video and I was like, I saw, okay, that's what it was. It was something to do with the nodes. Which nodes were they? the full nodes. They have their normal nodes, and then they have the full base node. So the node where, you know, the fast sync node, which most people had, and they were working on the full version type of node, which is blockchain from day one. Every single transaction needed a lot more space, and then that one was going to get paid a little bit more than the other ones, but it was kind of in beta and stuff. But then everyone, and no one was supposed to know about it. Then you know, people started talking about it and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, well, I think everyone's allowed. So are we allowed to mention it now? Because I see everywhere I look, I see everyone's talking about the full core ETMC node now. So I'm like, okay, so I guess talk. So I made a video just kind of going through things with the new steps to upgrade stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know, and then I posted it in their Telegram to show them, okay, well, hopefully this helps people out. I did it on my, like, they didn't pay me or nothing. I did it on my own free time, you know, all this just to help people out. And then they told me, you know, take it down. We don't want people to see that. No, you can't do that. You blah, blah, blah. And in their Telegram, I said, F you, I'm done with you guys. And I've never talked to them since. And I shut all my stuff off. And like legit, I screenshotted that and I posted it in my Discord a long time ago about that. But that's how we tied our ways. I don't know what's been going on. Like, I've seen some posts on Twitter about them. They have a new voting system coming out, but people are kind of upset about that, where you have to spend your ETC POW tokens in order to vote on things. It looks like they're looking for any way to burn coins as they can so that they can, you know, don't have so much dumping and stuff. Overall, I don't know what's been going on with them over there as well. I haven't been following ever since of that fallout when I was just trying to help out. So yeah, that's about where I stand with that. Rabid, easier to crack seed phrases or hit a BTC block? You know, I'm not sure. You know, you might be able to crack a seed faster than hitting a block, but being able to crack the proper seed to the wallet to be worthwhile might be easier to find the block. You know, that's a tough question up in the air. It's really hard to tell which one that would be. Like I said, you could crack a wallet a lot sooner, but it could be an empty wallet or a dead wallet, or, you know, nothing's in there, or maybe there's, you know, 10 cents in it or something. So was it worth a year or two to do if you did that? Maybe it only took a week. I don't know, depending on your supercomputing hash power. Or, you know, maybe you find a Bitcoin block in just 4 months' time. You know, it's a really up in the air thing. Yeah, crack seeds, but don't forget the prison time. Yeah, add that into there too. Is it going to be worth, you know, depending on jurisdiction, 10, 20, 30? Saw Metallica live in Globin. Oh, in Globin? Nice. Sold my Nano 3. In fact, I sold everything in January, including KS0 Pro and Ultra. I hope to set up a BTC node after watching your video. Nice, Scaper. Hope you get it done. It was pretty fast and easy, though. Oh, heck yeah. I'm glad Fully Electric actually pointed it out. So he DM'd me, like, it was like a month or two ago. He's like, hey, you know, here's how you can easily run a Bitcoin node. And, you know, people probably want to do this and run their own stuff and, you know, solo mine stuff. I was like, you know, that's a good idea. And then, you know, I was still not feeling the best. And then finally I got it done. I don't want to get over cracking a seed. Yeah, don't want to get your butt hurt, that's for sure. I'm rather pleased with my Can-Am Mini 3. Nice. You got the Mini 3 case rocker. Sweet. I just sold. I just got rid of my Mini 3, but you know, now, like, well, I haven't shipped it out yet, obviously, but I'm going to be shipping all that on Tuesday because it's a long weekend. Mail was closed Friday and Monday. But, you know, I think I want, you know, just some couple more because now I'm more excited because I got my solo Bitcoin node running. I was like, well, I want to put a little more hash on it. You know, I want to let this thing ride. I want to see what happens. This is awesome. You know, I'm excited. It's wicked, but yeah, I got rid of all those. So, you know, we'll see what happens moving forward. Maybe I have to get something else. I'd love to get, like, I should get another 850 and 66. I sent that to hosting. I will be solo mining on that. I sent that to TeraHashes. And if you guys are looking for hosting, check out TeraHashes and stuff. I also got my KS5L over at Metered Mining. So if you're looking for either a hosting facility anywhere, you know, there's Metered Mining and TeraHashes there for Terra hosting. Both places are, you know, ASIC driven. Actually, I think Metered Mining still hosts for GPUs. Terahash is pulling away from GPUs, going strictly ASIC, but not many people are GPU mining anyway. So most people are usually just ASIC hosting at this point. But those options are available to really cut your power back, and that's why I am utilizing them. And I'm going to be solo mining Bitcoin on the A1566 until hopefully that thing just blows up. But hopefully it finds a block before that happens, and hopefully it's before the next halving, because obviously we're going to be getting half the Bitcoin that we would now. But at that time, Bitcoin may be at an extremely crazy price, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm debating, maybe I should try to snag another Bitcoin miner and, some other big boy send a host in and let her run. It'd be nice to maybe get about half a petahash, maybe 1 petahash of just solo mining. It's going to cost maybe $600 a month to run, but that's like what, 4, 8, I don't know. That's a lot of power, So we'll see what happens. But potential for over $200,000-$300,000 could be pretty insane. Still a good time to sell GPUs. Sold 3 3070s, sold 3 370s. I know those are extras there on there. I'm just bugging you. 3 3070s this week, 300 a piece, gigabyte models. Nice. 3070s at 300 a piece. That's 300 USD. That's like, what is that? What's that in Canadian? What's that in our fake Canadian money? 300 USD to CAD. That's $415. If you guys can see that. There we go. 415 Canadian dollars. So that's not bad. What's 3060 Ti's going for? How's the 50? So I'm seeing people are liking the 5070. Obviously, there's still no profits out there, but in terms of efficiency boost and stuff, is the 5070 kind of the way to go? Is it like, moving from 5700 XTs or 580s to the 3060 Ti? Is that what we're seeing, going from 3060 Ti, 3070s upwards to 5070s? I got to look into the numbers more. I don't have any of those new GPUs, but I like to keep my hardware. Remember, I plan on doing a video about this. I already did one on, buying the coin versus mining the coin. That's right here. This one right here. And we see you make a lot more money based on, values on that. But that's the thing, crypto mining, I'm thinking about, my journey, what I've been thinking about things lately and how things are going. I like to keep the same amount of hash rate and stuff, but keep moving to more efficient things, because when it comes to new coins, spec mining, a lot of money through the bear market is made that way, especially on our CPUs and stuff. You never know if one will hit, 99% of the chance they're all rug pulls and failures, but you always hit that 1 or 2 where it does make you some decent money, and it's a good amount when it happens. So you always want to keep your hash rate, but if you are looking to just buying hardware, you got to add that expense in as well. And buying brand new GPUs, starting from scratch, things like that, is looking rough. But I do like to swap out older hardware for newer, more efficient hardware, because I still want to keep that hash rate on hand in case you need it to capitalize on events like that, because they're going to keep happening. Yes, things are rough right now, and we're pretty much a year and a couple months away from the bottom of the next bear market moving forward. It's already coming. We're still waiting for the peaks to hit here, but the bottom of the next bear is already in sequence to happen by the end of next year. So be ready for that. And we're going to see more crazy rug pulls. We're going to see a lot more miners probably leave from this cycle sucking so much that it's going to be even better through this next bear market. So you still want that hash rate on hand, which is why, I have 3060s, 3090s, 3090 I might keep for that, fake crypto AI, because my internet sucks to do real AI. But 3060 Ti's, 3060s, 3070s, I'm going to keep my 3080 because it is an EVGA, and obviously that should be in a museum one day. But for those GPUs, maybe sell them out and then get the more efficient 5070s, some, or maybe sell 4 or 5 cards. Actually, you'll probably have to sell about 10 cards and just get the 15090 or something. Because even with the 4090, it was a pain. I had a full Octa miner full of 3060 Ti's, 3070s, the 3080, and the 3090. And you'd mine coins, and I'd be using anywhere, depending on the coin and the algorithm, anywhere from 1400 to 2200 watts. And my 4090 would be getting 3/4 of that same hash rate for those 12 GPUs and doing it at only like 250 to 300 watts. So like my one GPU was almost as good as 12 of those GPUs. So it makes sense, you know, sell off 10 of them, buy one good one. And then, you know, I don't need all this freaking, you know, the big Octa case, which then, okay, X12, I could probably sell that. X8 could probably sell. I have like 5 or 6 open air rigs laying around. So, you know, I only need a couple GPUs. I'm still maintaining my same hash rate at much more efficient numbers. So it's not about really, like, expansion is always good. Right now, expansion kind of sucks, but maintaining close to the same hash rate, but improving that efficiency by quite a bit really helps things out. So that's kind of where I am right now on trying to figure out and play out, you know, which way I want to take my farm. I do think next cycle and next bear cycle, I might be moving my farm more away, like I don't want to say away from CPUs. I'm going to maintain what I got. I want some more 7950Xs to offset those 3900Xs which we sold to Panda, which he still has to come pick up sometime here. But I still want maintaining that. But I think when I go like the more of an expansion side of things, you know, I might end up going more on a GPU thing because so many people are pulling back. And this is the same thing I saw early when we came into the Ethereum merge, when everyone is still gung-ho, GPUs to the moon, the mining will never die, it's always going to be profitable, impossible, it won't be profitable, mining Ethereum. And, you know, I put on the brakes and I said, guys, look at this. This is what you're making, you know, $2 a day on a Raven coin right now with this, mostly because all the hash rates on Ethereum. Doesn't matter, you know, all these other coins. And then all of a sudden, this is what Raven coin is going to go to. And I increased the difficulty in what to mine at the bull run. And this is what it would look like right now with that increase just from, you know, 20% of Ethereum hash rate hitting Raven coin. And people are like, no, not happening. Impossible. That's BS. Don't lie to us. And I was showing a negative 11 cents and stuff on a 3060 Ti. And look what happened. Boom, nailed it. And that's what I'm seeing now is because, you know, the hash rate has to go somewhere. And it flooded the other coins. And all the other coins are so damn small compared to Ethereum. It's exactly what happened. And now look where we're sitting here. So now we're seeing a lot of miners saying, wow, this sucks. Mining is BS. Not even going to try it. Not looking into it. I don't want to expand. I'm selling all my hardware. I'm never going to buy a GPU again. And so on. If we see enough hash rate pull away, which is what we still have to, you know, feel out and stuff, we could see profits coming back. And then it's just because we see some profit. Like, I'm not talking major $2-3 a day. That's going to be like peak cycle type of stuff when you've been mining your coins through a bear cycle. So you're going to be very thin profit margins in the bear cycle there, but so much hash rate left, you're actually going to have, you know, some profit again, you know, starting to maybe your 20-cent profit after power and stuff will come back on newer hardware and stuff that's running decent efficiency, depending on power price and stuff as well. But we might see that transition slowly come back for the next cycle peak around 2029. And that's what I'm kind of feeling right now based on how everybody hates mining right now on GPUs and stuff and how rough it is. But again, it's still too soon to tell. That's why I'm still in the middle transition period on which way I want to fuel my expansion in the next bear market. You got to play the market, feel the market, see how it goes, and then make your decision. So that's where I'm at. So right now I'm just, you know, swapping out hardware for more efficient hardware. And then once, you know, next year, maybe 2 years, depending how things, you know, go with this cycle and stuff, because things are all, you know, kind of messed up here, then I'll figure out which way I'm going to slowly transition moving within the next probably 2 years or something. But we'll go from there. But it's always just trying to pay attention to all crypto. That's why, you know, I'm not just all in on CPUs. I'm not all in on GPUs. You know, it's a little bit of everything. That way you can just, you know, you play out, you look at all the algorithms, you feel out all the coins, and you just look, you know, which direction does it feel like things may go this time? And that's just what we got to keep doing. Okay, what do we got over here? We see some gifted sub tiers and all sorts of level 2 record and crazy stuff happening in the Twitch there. What's going on over here? So the mini PC, let's just setting new record. Keep going on until clocks run out. We're setting a record. What is this? 3 minutes left. 50%. Level 2 record. We got Case Rocker gifted tier 1 sub to Scafer, to Jasper Love, to Rio6969. We got what is that? I always butcher this one. I think Falafel Pony here, gifting 5 tier 1 sub. What's happening? This is blowing up over in the Twitch store all of a sudden out of nowhere. Case Rocker 5, rocking it, sweet, crazy stuff. Look at all that stuff. It's going, it's rocking over there. Scrolling up, let's see what we got for some of the chats here. Sold me, what we got here? Jockwick Miner sold me down to 3. In fact, I sold everything in January, including Kids Pro Ultra. Running your own BTC node increases your chance of hitting a block by how much? Jockwick Miner, it doesn't increase your chance. The same chances are still there, but you have your latency, you're directly tied in with the blockchain. So you have like a 1 millisecond latency between your miner and your node finding that work and stuff. And then, you've got to validate it and stuff from there. But like your latency between your work and your miner is only like 1 millisecond. It's like instant. It's right there. So that's what's helping out kind of there. Plus running your own node, you're adding that extra decentralization and everything to the network. Now we think about it all the time, but like I said, most of the coins we're mining right now, people don't care about the coin, don't care about that. But Bitcoin is huge. People do care about Bitcoin. And if you ever wanted to run a node for any coin, Bitcoin should probably be the one you do it for, because it's the OG. It's the main market mover. Bitcoin is crypto. Running your BC nodes surely adds extra cost to an already expensive energy market. Well, no, not really. That all depends on what you're running on. My node box, for an example, uses like, I should plug it into a watt meter, but it's like 30 watts. So it's your PC. It's a mini PC sitting idle is all that's doing. So you're running it for a 1 cent a day, pretty much. So if 1 cent a day is too expensive, then you cut out one coffee. You go to the store, you buy a coffee for $1. That's 100 days worth of running your node if you missed 1 day of coffee. That kind of makes sense. So no, it doesn't. I would say no, it doesn't add extra cost to running anything. Now, if you go out and buy a $2,000 future bid or a Apollo or whatever they are, then yeah, those then are expensive. But they're just trying to make something that's easy sound very hard and charging you a super high fee to sell you that node. That's all that's going on between the future bits and all those things out there. It's something that you can easily do yourself, and they're going to charge you $2,000 to do it for you, pretty much. Makes sense. 4090 on Sell It is about $5 a day. Nice. 4090. I got a 4090 in my PC. Oh yeah, I'm using it's my gaming PC right now, but I could run that in the off time, I guess. I thought you can only run one card on Sell It. Doesn't support multi GPUs. Yeah, you do need individual rigs, I believe. You have to make Warthog rigs. Think of Warthog when running Sell It, unless they add multi GPU support. I don't know if they've done that yet. I haven't been following it, but last I heard, just if you have a Warthog rig, you can slap that on Sell It. Power consumption on Sell It is very good, under 50%. If no, oh, sorry guys, my little burp there. I should have muted, but I didn't get to it in time. Oh, hype chest. We got a chest. I'm gonna open it. What is this? What is this? Consume a moat. What is this? Oh my gosh, look at that. Just absorb. Look at it. Just suck it in. How do we do that? There we go. Choo choo. Check this out, guys. Look at this. A moat. Look at it. We're just sucking it in. You guys see that stuff? Oh my gosh. There's like a party happening on the Twitch there, guys. There's like, we got this suck it in gifted emote just popped up, and it's absorbing. Too bad that wasn't Bitcoin. If we could turn that into it's absorbing all that Bitcoin, it's like a giant mouse sucking in like a massive, those crazy whales. Yeah, we need that. Too bad it wasn't all Bitcoin. That'd be insane. Look at that emote. Could everyone use that one now or what? Like, I don't know. Is it like unlocked? I don't know. We're nailing achievements and stuff over there. I don't even know what's going on. Things are just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Rabid, who the H is gonna build 10 rigs for Sell It? Panda? I'd do it. If it's making money, I'll do it. Like, it's the same thing as Warthog. Like, who's going to build rigs for Warthog? That's why Warthog was nice, because it took so long for people to put their rigs together, to consolidate, rip apart GPU rigs and put them in with decent CPUs and stuff. And that's why we maintained decent yields and low network hash rate, even though the price was going up much longer than simply going to Hive OS, clicking all rigs, new flight sheet, send it to the moon, instant hash rate across there. So it's a lot harder to build for it. But, in my mind, it's good that way. It makes lazy people not get paid. If you don't want to build your rig for it, you don't deserve to get paid. Why should you get, massive crypto profits if you don't want to take the time to build the rig for that project? So, it's a way to maybe sideline, lazy people. No, I'm not calling anyone lazy. I'm just saying that's how it plays out, and that's why it took much longer for hash rate to start to increase. It also would take a little longer for hash rate to decrease, because then you gotta, rip those rigs apart again and put them back into, GPU rigs and stuff like that. Buying more memory sucked. Yeah, that's the other thing. Well, I think I got like, what is it? I got an extra like 8 sticks of RAM for the DDR4 for the AM4 platform here for sell it. I never did install them and got them together. It's just laying here still, but that's something I might end up putting together or something. We'll see. A vast AI pays more. Yeah, supposedly there's a whole bunch of platforms out there. Did you hear? Oh, the other thing, I can't remember where I seen this. I don't know where I seen this, but like, I was thinking about trying it, but now if I say this, you guys are probably all going to do it, and then it's going to suck, or maybe it's fixed now or changed. Now, I don't want to say fixed. I want to say changed. But Chlor AI, obviously they got the hash rate rental and stuff and things, but, you can pay with Chlor. And it sounded like people were renting rigs on Chlor, like big, nice rigs for like $1 a day. Super cheap, because they're, instead of using Bitcoin or something to pay, they were just using the Chlor to pay. And it seems like they were getting rigs for an extremely cheap price. So that, look around. There's different ways to look at this. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I know we always ask this question a lot is, why would someone rent hash rate? What's the point? Just get your own GPUs. But then I started thinking, I stepped back, I think about stuff like this, and I drive to town and stuff, doing my Hive Mapper to get groceries and whatnot. And I was thinking, you got to buy someone that doesn't have any rigs, especially with the profits that suck right now. You go out to buy, a couple GPUs. You can see Itopi there. Itopi. I always butcher it, and one day I'll say it right. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. But he just sold those for for a decent price, and that's on the used market there. Say $300. So now, say someone wanted to build a 6-card rig. $300 times 6 and everything. What if they just spent $300 and rented some rigs, or they spent $20 on this day and rented some rigs, or $15 that day, or maybe you find a good deal like Chlor did. Shop around to all these platforms. Honestly, look at them all. Maybe Chlor's went up this day, another platform is down, because as profits drive up on some of these rental platforms, all the miners go to it as well, which means that's where the demand is, because people are using it, and then all of a sudden demand drops on another one. So if demand drops on a previous one that used to be high, go to that one, rent some hash rate for super cheap, and you'll probably end up working out better, because one, now you don't have a power bill and you don't have a hardware bill to buy those GPUs, and you're just renting some hash at decent cheap prices and not have to worry about a power bill increase. So things like this is actually kind of playing. I was thinking about, maybe running around to different platforms depending on price, renting a bunch of different hash rates here and just sending it on random coins and not have to worry about it. Like, these actually does kind of make sense to do some rentals and stuff sometimes if you do a lot more research and scan the networks. Also, being in the crypto industry and everyone talk about things, you got your Chlor AI, you got your Vast AI and other things, and there's like 4 or 5 other platforms out there. There's one right now that's supposedly very profitable, but my internet cannot run it right now. So that kind of sucks, so I can't even try it. But, it sounds like good things are happening there. But, on the most part, that's where the demand will slowly shift as more people hear about it. That means dropping off of other platforms like Vast and stuff, and then the prices to rent will drop as well. And then, you pick up some hash rate for cheap and just bounce around all the time. So, it's mostly about staying on top of things, doing a lot of research and looking where everything is. But, yeah, crazy. Let's settle this. IOTypy. IOTypy? Oh, IOTypy? I sound weird saying it with the gaps, though. Now it's even worse. IOTypy. IOTypy? Is that right? IOTypy? Did I say it right that time? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna take a picture of that and I'm gonna practice. Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture. IOTypy. IOTypy. Right, I'm doing it? Oh my gosh. World's first. I took a picture. I legit did. I took a picture of that. I have a comp I use to run Knows it has AMD 60-core processor, 192 gigabytes of RAM. I use Proxmox and run a bunch of VMs for my nodes, running an 8-flux node, and now I am running a Bitcoin node. Nice, nice. You know, that's something I would like to get. Like, my internet sucks, so that's the issue. But I would like to have something like that for, you know, nodes and wallets. But, you know, at the same time, depending what it is, like, well, AMD 16, that's actually not bad. You know, 16-core processor, but you start running, like, idling, you know, a couple big epics for a big home lab thing, you know, that starts burning. You're using a couple hundred watts of just sitting there idle for storage, which, you know, will start to add up in cost. But something like that, that'd probably be all right, just running, like, you know, a smaller Ryzen like that. Guess what else he found? He found they were Hashcat Satoshi wallets. Have you seen Neoxa Arcade? No, I think I remember them saying something about that a while back, but no, I've never seen it. So it's obviously a thing now? But yeah, I'm not sure. He said Proxmox. Did I say I said Max, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I don't know why I said it. Proxmox. I said Prox Max, didn't I? Did I say Max? Oh my gosh. DJ Mines, Mr. 22, rocking in the house. What is happening? What is going on? That's 4090. Some of those jobs pay 16 cents an hour, and the power consumption is a couple hundred watts. Last night I got a very nice job about 8 p.m. I hopped onto the game, and I almost didn't game. See, that's the other issue when you're running like a salad rig or something through your gaming PC. Is like you go to play a game or something, then you see, oh my gosh, Salad has a job and it's doing good. Now I can't play games. That's why I don't even turn on Salad on my workstation, which is my best complete PC I have, is my gaming workstation PC, because it has the 4090 and the 7950 X3D in it right now. Soon, when I got to finish testing the 9950 X3D, I'm going to be slapping the new motherboard and the 9950 X3D into my workstation, and I'm hoping to get my hands, like, they're so expensive. I don't know if I really want to, but I do want a white RTX 5090, a white one, and you know, that'll be my new workstation. And then, you know, put it on Salad, put it on this, but then I won't be able to play any games. So I try to ignore all that stuff on my workstation, because one, it might corrupt it, and two, like, then I can't play games. But then you're like, oh, but you're making so much money with this. I know. Crazy. I've been trying with VMware and Umbrella with Bitcoin nodes or Bitcoin knots, and it keeps failing. Once the download gets to 85-ish, I'm on my 4th attempt. That sucks. Interesting. Satoshi created 100 wallets with weak to strong seed phrases. So far, about 10 wallets have been cracked. Interesting. Like, is there coins in each of these wallets? I imagine he did. So he made 100 different wallets, and he, like, threw in, like, a prize for them. I ended up keeping a 3090 Ti for games, but did get rented that much. No demand. Salad is bad. 5090 on Salad is so bad. Yeah, I heard that too. 5090, no demand. Like, I don't understand. Like, they post out they have high demands for 3070s, and, you know, less demand for 3080, medium demand for 5070s, things like that. Like, why is there such a high demand for only a 3070? Like, what are all the jobs that they're doing? Why can't a 5090 or 3090 take, you know, do the jobs of the 3070? You know, is it because people are paying, like, I haven't seen the marketplace or anything, but, like, people are only trying to rent the 3070 for certain things. They don't want the other ones because they're too expensive, or, like, I don't know why. If they're not getting a job, why can't you just slap one of those into the, you know, 3070 job or something? Let me throw out this 2K a month they're paying me. Yeah, Salad is bad. Let me throw out this 2K a month they're paying me. Nice, Kalbasa. What all do you got running on there anyway? Kalbasa, what is it? What all you got running? You know, I might. Do you need good internet for Salad? I never even checked that to see if my internet lagged out or not. Well, I ran it a while back. You have 50 rigs? Oh my gosh, I wish. That's all. Yeah, 50 rigs. Darn it. What are they? Like 3090s, 4090s, 5090s, 5070s, 3080s? Like, what are your highest paying hardware that you have? I didn't want to prune it either. I wanted to keep the full blockchain. I allotted 900 gigabytes. Oh, yes, they all have BTC. He's using it to keep up his security. If they all get cracked, he's going to SHA 512. Interesting. 1040-90s, 1230-80s, 930-90s, 630-80 Ti's. Nice collection there. 1040-90s. That's awesome. And are the 4090s the ones that are making the most out of all those? Oh, there's even more coming in. 630-70 Ti's, 630-60 Ti's. Nice. All on salad, huh? That's crazy. $2,000 a month USD. It's pretty nice. That's pretty nice, though. That's an extra $2,000 that you wouldn't have. So, you know, it's working out for you. That's awesome. 4090s are killing it. Damn, I have a 4090. I'm gonna have to turn on salad. I don't believe it. I'm gonna have to turn on salad. How much RAM and stuff do I have in this thing? Did I just wreck everything? Let me just bring this up. What all do I got in here? Where's all my memory? I got 63 gigabytes. So that should be okay, right? I can't remember what the salad specs are. 63 gigabytes, well, 64, but, you know, working is 63.1. Is that good to go? Is that good to go for salad? The best is less than 1 kilowatt power, more like $600. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. I got a bunch of freaking drives here. Awesome, awesome. You know, maybe I'll have to fire this thing up in the off time and see. 96 is better. Yeah, well, how about the X870? That thing can hold up to 256 gigabytes. So should I just rock that thing? What happens if I put 256 gigabytes in? My next workstation build, I got to load it up and see what happens. 4090 with 256 gigabytes of RAM. Let's go. Let's do this. Salad to the moon, right? Is that what we're going to be doing now? We're all salad. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Oh, man, that's just the wrong thing. I use 64 gigabytes with 4090s and 3090s. All the rest you can use 32. Okay, interesting. My 3070 on salad is always rented on $1.17 per day job. Not too shabby. 3070. I gotta start. You know, 30. Yeah. What about 3060 Ti's? Anyone have 3060 Ti's on salad? Like, are they doing okay as well? Are they close to a 3070? Like, I got a bunch of those laying around. I got one 3070. Maybe I should have slapped together a bunch of salad rigs and call it good, huh? Sounds like that's what you guys are doing. No great GPU anyhow. I say 128 gigabytes. My workstation is Epic 7742 Super Micro. Nice. 256 gigabytes of RAM. 5090 Astral in your Epic. Making a decent 15 cents per day on 15 cents. You should be making way more than 15 cents. Oh, is it the 5090? Are they not configured right or something? No demand? Like, that seems weird. 15 cents a day on a 5090 when a 4090 is, you know, blowing that away. But, you know, maybe it's a salad thing. They haven't updated to what they need. No demand. So, yeah, it's too powerful. Too much. It's too much hardware for what little salad is doing in demand, I guess, or something. Get an M2 for $35, 500 gigabyte. It will be fine. Yeah, for sure. That's all I get. Cheap M2s. 500 gigabytes. Like, here, you know, if you, let's take a look. M2 SSDs are pretty cheap. Look, okay, we'll look at the states here. Memory storage. Now we're gonna go to price. What's the cheapest one here? No, I want M2 though. M2, what do we got? No, here's a Patriot P300. This is going for $19 bucks. Get that for $19. You can get this thing for $18. I don't know what these ones are, so I wouldn't recommend, but this one's only $14. But yeah, you know, just come in here, search cheapest power. This is all, when I build my rigs and stuff, this is all I look for. I come into here, I look for the cheapest price, see what's the cheapest right now, and say, call it good. It seems like it's always been going with this one, even though it's not the absolute cheapest. It's like an extra $1 or $2 from these ones. But, you know, it seems like the Patriot 300s are the ones I always seem to kind of go for. Speaking of which, where is... I don't know. Don't know where it is. I think 4090 is the only card worthwhile on salad. Maybe. Yeah, and I got one. So maybe I need to fire that bad boy up. If I even mine again, they are all getting Hive OS on M2s. Yeah, M2s. You got to go M2s. USB drives. Like, I think some people still use USB drives. I had nothing but issues. Like even in 2020, 2021, when everyone was building rigs, you know, the USB drives, they failed. Like they could have been crappier USB drives then, but they failed on me a lot. They are so slow to boot up. And then if you have to update your drivers or anything, your NVIDIA drivers, you know, we were doing that all the time. Update your NVIDIA driver, update your Hive OS, you know, anything to do with updates and stuff. It just took me like forever to do that because that drive was so slow. Like I will never use a USB drive for any OS anymore in terms of mining and stuff, or for anything in general. So yeah, always use like an M2 or at least, you know, one of the SATA SSDs. Those are 100 times faster than trying to run stuff on a USB stick. But some people are still pushing totally fine on a USB stick. Yeah, it is fine if you want to move at a snail's pace. You know, and you know, a lot of times the M2 drives and stuff these days are like the same price as a freaking USB stick now. Like everything has come down in price. Well, maybe not soon with all these tariffs, although electronics should be exempt here, but we'll still see what happens with that when it comes to hard drives and stuff. I picked up a 1 terabyte Western Digital M2 for $50. A 1 terabyte Western Digital, nice. That's nice. That's a wicked deal, actually. Sweet. Hey, if you guys are shopping Amazon, remember, smash an Amazon link and then frickin' get it done. Here, you know, I'm gonna find one. Just put it in chat for you guys to use. Where's the Amazon link? Any Amazon link, and then you just search stuff. Here we go. Shop Amazon. Right here. Right click. Copy. Putting this in chat. Everybody click it if you plan on shopping on Amazon. Engage. It's not sending. There you go. It's sent. It sent it all. Use that. Scamazon link. Yeah, it's one of those. I'm Scamazoning all of you guys. Make sure you click it. Click it. I picked up. Okay, we went to that. Can't wait for Honey to hijack the link. Oh yeah, make sure you uninstall Honey as well. Those scammers of Scam Central. Actually, that derives in from PayPal, isn't it? Didn't the PayPal link to them, and then they're all going through? I don't remember how it all worked. How did that whole situation play out? But yeah, make sure you don't have Honey installed because it'll hijack all that, and then you give all your money to PayPal instead, and not me. Rabid, why I use my USB for over a year just fine? Oh, that's it. Is it slow for you? I probably just had some crappy China ones or something. I don't know. All my USB drives kept failing. What do we got here? Anyway, 12:07. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. We have been here for a little over an hour. We will be back tomorrow for a live AMA. I do appreciate all you guys for showing up for this live stream. I will see you all in the next one.
Rabid out.